Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. I am here to help you grow your online presence, multiply your income streams, and build a profitable business. I'm out of breath. That is the first time that intro has made me out of breath. I have been unwell all week. I'm like fine now, I'm on the mend, but clearly not 100% because saying 3 sentences just made me out of breath. Anyway, today's video is a big one. I've been wanting to record it for a while, but because of the illness, I wasn't able to. Alas, here I am and I'm recording it now. So it's all about how you can get your first 1,000 followers on Instagram in 2022. Yes, guys, it is still possible. You can grow from 0 to 1,000 on Instagram in 2022. I have done a video very similar to this in the past. However, it's actually laughable when I think about how much Instagram has changed since I created that video. So a new updated video is definitely overdue. So let's just get straight to it. Okay, so 2 things to cover before we literally dive right into it. God, I think I'm still a bit delirious. The first is I'm really trying to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think a silver plaque would look amazing in my flat. So if you haven't subscribed to me yet and you like this type of content, please do. And please share this with someone else who also likes this type of content. The second thing I want to flag is I'm hosting my Instagram content strategy workshop next week. So it's in a couple of days. It is a live workshop where I will be teaching you step by step how to create a content strategy. I've never taught this anywhere else on any of my social platforms before. Why? Because it requires like a 3-hour workshop in order for me to teach it to you. It is basically the most important element of your Instagram page. Whilst I can teach you loads of tips and tricks and hacks on this channel, it is very hard for me to teach you how to actually create better content without me doing so in a real interactive workshop environment. So if you're interested in joining me in this incredible workshop, which is happening in just a few days time on the 6th of April, or if you just want to make sure that you're able to watch the replay for the rest of your life, it's lifetime access to the replay, I will put a link down below so that you can grab a ticket, and I'm really excited to see you there. Okay, so we need to start off with the basics. What is your value offering? If you've not watched my videos before, then you might not know what I mean by a value offering. A value offering is quite literally what value you are offering people in exchange for them following you. I think what's really important to bear in mind when you're starting an Instagram account from scratch, or if you're new to the platform in general, is that Instagram and social media, they're value-based platforms, right? You are asking someone to follow you on Instagram, and that is them giving you some value. In order for you to actually get someone to the place where they're willing to follow you, you need to make it very clear what value you're offering them in exchange, right? It needs to be a two-way street. We can't just assume that just by being on Instagram, we're owed followers or we're owed reach or anything like that. Like, no one owes us anything, unfortunately. Which means that we need to be very clear on what we're giving people in exchange for them following us. So that's one of the first things I always recommend anyone think about when they're starting a new Instagram page from scratch. Get clear on what it is that you're going to be offering people in exchange for them following you. For example, maybe you offer them a behind the scenes look at your really exciting life, or whatever kind of life it is. Maybe you give them tips and tricks on a specific pain point. Like for me, it's marketing, being a content creator. For you, it might be shopping sustainably, plant care, like, you know, it could be anything. But really think about what it is that you're offering people in exchange for them following you on Instagram. So the other thing you want to think about is your why. So this is quite literally why you want to grow on Instagram, or why you're creating the content you're creating for Instagram, why you're trying to speak to the people you're trying to speak to on Instagram, just why. And unfortunately, the answer can't be like, just because I want to grow and I think it'll be cool to have a few thousand followers, right? It's got to have more depth to that. And the reason why is because it is incredibly difficult to remain consistent on social media. Instagram, TikTok, all of it. It's so difficult to be consistent. And one of the biggest things what's going to help keep you consistent and on track, especially when things might be slow and you might be getting frustrated with the algorithm or whatever else, is when you have a real good why. So when you figured out the reason why you want to create your content, maybe it's because you want to educate people on a certain subject, maybe it's because you want to build a community around a certain subject, maybe it's because you want to eventually promote a new business that you want to launch in the future. If you have some kind of why established for your Instagram page and you've written it down and you read it on a regular basis to remind you why it is you're doing what you're doing, you're going to find it so much easier to remain consistent on the platform. Like that's gonna be the thing what really gets you through. I'm actually releasing a video soon, which is all about how to remain consistent on social media. I actually have a bit of a hack that I've been using for the past year and a half, which has allowed me to stay consistent across multiple platforms. So if you wanna watch that video, then be sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss it when I upload it. Okay, so now that we've covered the basics, it's really important that we talk about your bio. If you are starting an Instagram page from scratch in 2022, you need to make sure that your bio is speaking directly to your audience. So none of this fluffy nonsense in your bio, talking about how you're like all about lifestyle and, you know, just being completely non-specific. We want to make sure that your bio is incredibly tailored and is speaking directly to the exact type of person who you're trying to attract to your Instagram page. So if you are trying to attract people who really care about sustainability and kind of environmental issues, then you need to make sure your bio reflects that, right? If you're trying to attract people who are really interested in football, then you need to make sure that your bio is written for people who are interested in football. Don't be vague and try to attract everyone to your Instagram page, because you'll end up attracting no one. You want to write a bio which is specifically designed to attract your ideal audience. Before we move on, this is my secret tip for anyone who's struggling to write a bio designed for a specific audience. What you need to do is write your bio as if you're speaking to one person and one person only. You might even know this person who you kind of want to attract to your Instagram page. Maybe it's one of your friends who's interested in the type of content that you're going to be creating. If that's the case, right, picture them and write your bio as if you're speaking to them. The result will be that your ideal audience will read that bio and they will feel like you are speaking directly to them. And it's going to help them bond with you and get to know you on such a deeper level super quickly. Okay, so we've spoken about your why, your value offering, your bio. We've done all of that good stuff. We've done all the real important kind of basics or the foundations. I now want to talk about how you can promote your Instagram page when it's completely new. You don't even have any content on it yet, so you can start getting your first few followers in, right? And how you're going to do that is by cross-promoting. Cross-promoting is quite literally promoting one channel across your other channels. You might be listening to that and thinking, well, I don't have any other channels, so this doesn't work for me. Or you might be listening to that and thinking, oh my God, I have so many other channels. Why have I not done this yet? Either way, I'm going to give you some tips and some real examples of cross promotion for you to use to really get your Instagram page going. Okay, so let me start with the most obvious ones. If you have another social media channel, you should be promoting this brand new Instagram page on that social media channel. So if you have a TikTok, if you have a Pinterest page, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have Snapchat, whatever it is, if you've got another social channel, regardless of how big or how small it is, you should be promoting your brand new Instagram channel on that channel, right? That is a no-brainer. Another way that you can cross-promote this Instagram channel is actually by sharing links to your Instagram channel on other platforms. For example, WhatsApp, going on your WhatsApp and sharing a link to your Instagram channel with all of your friends and family or acquaintances and asking them to support your channel by following you. That is a simple thing to do. I know not everyone feels comfortable doing that, but if you do, that's a real easy way to at least get your first 10 or 20 followers onto that page. A real interesting way to cross promote though, and one which is lesser known, is actually to use Facebook groups. Now, a lot of people think Facebook's dead, and like, don't get me wrong, it's not what it used to be, but it's not dead. Like there's stuff still happening on the platform. And one of the biggest thriving areas of Facebook is their group feature, right? So people create groups on Facebook, which are usually super niche and super targeted, and they revolve around one specific subject. So there might be a Facebook group which is all about vegan recipes. There might be another Facebook group which is all about best travel recipes. Oh my God, okay, sorry. You probably heard that. The reason why I reacted so weirdly then is because my phone dropped, but I just realized that it didn't have its case on. It always has a case on, but I was filming and it wouldn't fit on the ring light with the case on, so it didn't have its case. So I just had a heart attack, so I was like, oh my God, the one time it doesn't have its case, I've just smashed it. It's not smashed. Woo! Where was I? Cross promotion. So as I was saying, there are different Facebook groups which are super targeted, they're niche, and they revolve around one specific subject. What you could do is do some research to find these groups just by searching keywords on Facebook related to your niche, right? Go on Facebook, search for these groups, join these groups if you can, and promote your Instagram page there. This is super effective because now you're actually getting your Instagram page in front of a targeted audience of people who are already interested in the content that you're going to be sharing. Not only that, but they're not your friends and family. They're a bigger, broader, wider audience. It's really worth, though, noting that you need to ensure you've checked the rules of the Facebook group, because some Facebook groups won't allow you just to share links to your Instagram page whenever you want. Sometimes they'll have specific threads for that, but other groups will have no rules at all, and they'll be like, yeah, hun, do what you want. In which case, you are free to share and promote your Instagram page. If you want to use that route and use that method, make sure that you're actually selling your Instagram page and you're mentioning what your value offering is when you share your link. So you're saying to people, hey, come follow me because I offer you this, rather than just saying, this is my Instagram page. Right? Okay, so let's talk about some of the content that you're gonna want to be creating to get to your first 1,000 followers on Instagram on this fresh Instagram account, right? It goes without saying that if you want to learn actually how to create an effective content strategy, like the real deal, then I really hope I'm gonna see you at my content strategy workshop, or I hope that you're gonna sign up so that you can catch the lifetime access to the replay. But for today's video, I'm gonna give you this single tip, and you're probably gonna guess what it is. You need to lean into Reels, right? There is a huge caveat that I'm going to give you before I continue. Whilst Reels are great at helping you grow, and I'll tell you why they're great at helping you grow in just one second. Whilst they're great at helping you grow, it is worth noting that it is only useful to use Reels if your audience likes Reels. And this is something that so many people forget to flag, right? How Instagram's algorithms work, right, is that they are consistently working to show people content that they want to see. And that also includes the type of content that they want to see. So if a whole group of people hate seeing Reels, they're not going to see as many Reels. I mean, they're still going to see Reels, but they're not going to see as many. Versus if a whole group of people love seeing Reels, they're going to see almost exclusively Reels content. Like, they're hardly going to see any photos. And to test this, if you don't believe me, it's a risky thing to do because you're messing with the algorithm here. But if you don't believe me, you can go on your own Instagram now and only interact with Reels for the next few days. And what you're going to see is that your entire home feed is going to switch to being almost exclusively Reels, because the algorithm is going to think that you only want to see Reels because that's the only content that you're engaging with, right? That's just one thing to bear in mind. Like, if you're someone who has a hunch and thinks that their audience actually doesn't like Reels as much as everyone else seems to, then maybe you don't want to be leaning into Reels as much as others are. It's very much a test and learn process, but it's just a caveat that I just felt like I had to tell you. So when it comes to leaning into Reels, there's a few kind of basic tips that I'm going to give you. The first is that you don't have to dance. Isn't that great news? In the beginning of Reels, when they were first blowing up, the people who were seeing a lot of success with them were people who were doing like dancing challenges or just doing like movement in their Reels. And the reason why is because they're eye-catching. They usually were using trending music or trending audio, and it was something that just got people to stop scrolling, right? And those will still work really well. So if you're someone who wants to do that type of content, oh my God, go for it. You're probably going to see huge success. However, for anyone who doesn't want to do that type of content, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. What's the most important thing to remember when you're creating Reels is you've got to create Reels which suit you, your style, your tone of voice, your personality. If you force yourself to try and create Reels which are blowing up just because you want to blow up, it won't work, because people will be able to tell that your heart isn't in it. Like, they'll be able to tell, like, she doesn't want to be doing that dance routine. She's miserable. You know, people can just tell, right? You can pick up on people's vibe even when it's through a phone screen. So my biggest tip is to create the kind of Reels that you actually want to create and that suit you. And if you're stuck for Reels ideas, always go to TikTok first. I'm not saying that you need to actually start posting on TikTok if you don't want to, but most trending audios, most challenges, if you want to do that type of content, a lot of short form video, vertical video ideas originate on TikTok, and then they make their way over to Instagram. So if you're stuck for ideas, one of the biggest things that I think you could do is go on TikTok and search for keywords related to your niche and just have a look at some of the content, what's being shown there. Never copy, just research. scratch. It's gonna help spark some ideas, and when you sit down to create your Reels content, it's gonna make the whole process a lot easier. But essentially, the main tip here is when you're starting out on Instagram and you're trying to get to your first 1,000 followers, you do wanna lean into Reels. The reason why is because the Reels algorithm is actually designed to show your content to people who do not follow you yet. So because that's how the Reels algorithm works, it means that you're actually able to reach a new audience a lot easier through a Reel than you are through a carousel or a static photo. And when you're brand new and you don't have many followers yet, one of the most challenging things that you're going to struggle with is to get in front of new people, right? To get your reach up. And Reels is going to be the thing what's going to help you do that. So you know your why, you know your value offering, you're cross-promoting like an absolute, like a pro. That one didn't work, did it? I'm not on my ball today, Jesus. You're cross-promoting super well and you're doing all this amazing stuff and things are rolling, you're creating Reels. Now we're gonna take it a step further and really get you to that 1,000 mark. And how we're gonna get to that 1,000 mark is by collaborating. Now, Instagram have released so many new features over the past year or so, which has made collaborating easier than ever. I'm gonna tell you a few of these features now. One of those features, which is great for collaborating with other people, is live rooms. Live rooms is just going live but with other people, and you can actually go live with up to 3 additional people, which means there will be 4 people in your live in total. When you go live with other accounts, specifically accounts who have audiences who are similar to yours, what you do is you open yourself up to their entire audience. So you may have noticed before that if you follow someone and they go live, you actually get a notification saying so and so is going live with whoever else, right? And it gives you a notification because it's asking you or letting you know just in case you want to join. Well, what that does is actually allows all of your audience and whoever you're going live with audience to be notified that you two are going live together. So there's actually a pretty big chance that when you go live with someone else, the people who join that live are going to be from your audience, but also from theirs. So now you've got this really great opportunity to speak with this whole new audience who is hopefully similar to your audience, bond with them a bit, show them what you can do, show your personality off, really explain what your value offering is, and there's a huge chance that as a result of that, you're going to get some new followers. Another way that you can collaborate on Instagram is to actually produce a shared post. So you can actually share a joint post on Instagram, which will appear under your Instagram feed and whoever you've collaborated with Instagram feed. So both of your audiences will see the exact same post. Both audiences will like, comment, and interact with the exact same post. And that means that that post is getting twice as much traction and it's being seen by twice as many people. So it's a really great opportunity for you to get in front of a new audience, and it's just a real kind of like native way, I feel, to collaborate with others. It's just easier. Back in my day, when you wanted to collaborate with someone, you would both kind of agree on what you were going to post. You'd probably make it a bit different to suit your own style, and then you'd both post it at the same time on your own channels. But this way you can really pull your resources together and really maximize the impact of that joint collaborative post. The final example of collaborating that I'm going to give you today is shout outs, and this one's super simple and it's been around for a very long time. It's quite literally you picking another account which is, again, got a similar audience to yours, who you genuinely love, like you genuinely think they produce great content, and just giving them a shout out on your stories. Now, the reason why this is super effective is because when you shout out someone else's account, you increase the chances of them doing the same thing to you. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that if someone shouts you out, you have to shout them out back. That's not what this is about. It needs to be authentic. However, if you're putting the work in and you're creating really great content which is landing with your audience, there's a good chance that whoever you're shouting out will recognize that and they'll probably want to shout you out too, right? And if they do choose to shout out your page, well, then there's a really big chance that you're going to get some followers, because now they're going to be actively promoting your page to their audience, right? They're going to be literally saying to their audience, hey guys, this person creates great content, you should check them out. And there's a big chance that audience will actually go ahead and check you out, and they're probably going to follow you afterwards. Fun fact, I would say that when you look at my analytics and see any peaks from my follow accounts on certain days, because my growth is quite stable, like I gain between 50 to 100 followers every day, and that is kind of it. It very rarely fluctuates, like it's very stable, right? However, there have been occasions where I've had a few spikes here and there, and that has come from people shouting me out. Like, that's what's resulted in those spikes. Ignoring the few reels which have helped me get spikes here and there, a lot of the time though, it's actually come from shout outs. So do not underestimate how powerful a good shout out can be. That is it for today's video. I can't wait for you to hit your first 1,000 followers on Instagram. Remember that if you are stuck when it comes to your content strategy, I have a workshop which is going to guide you through the process of creating an incredible strategy step by step from scratch, right? The workshop is actually happening in a few days, but when you sign up and you purchase a ticket, you are also purchasing access, lifetime access to the replay. It's something that you're not going to want to miss. So link for that workshop is in the description. If you feel like hanging around and watching a few more videos, I recommend watching this one. It is all about why your reach and engagement may have dropped recently on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching my channel. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.